I'm back with another one. This is just a little story time coming to let you guys know how I had broke my arm. It's just a little story time, a little something slight. So, this is going back to whenever I lived in Texas. I stayed in Texas when I was little. I was growing up out there. I went to school out there. I wasn't born out there, but I was raised out there a little bit. And out of being the third kid born, you know what I'm saying, out of four, I was the third one born, and we were all like just into roughhousing. We used to always play football, play basketball, do certain things. It just like, you know, kids roughhousing. And I always make friends on the block. You know, we just stayed outside. Like, it's like a different time now, cause back then we always used to be outside. The only like electronics that there was when I was growing up, there was like Atari, not Atari, I'm not that old, but like the consoles that people couldn't really afford, you know what I'm saying, like PlayStation 1 and Xbox, like people couldn't really afford that, you know what I'm saying, so the stuff that was at people's house was like some older stuff, if that makes sense. Like a Pac-Man game would probably be at somebody's house, and a box TV. You know what I'm saying? Everybody didn't have monitors. People didn't have flat screen TVs and laptops like they do today. It was a much different time. And so with that being said, it would always make the kids go outside. We didn't even want to stay inside. TV wasn't even really big back then. And when we did have TV, it was just kind of like MTV, Jersey Shore type of thing. If you know, you know. If you don't know what that is, it's more of like Blueface and Krishan Rock type of thing. That's what TV was. Or it was like Pimp My Rides. If you don't know what Pimp My Rides is, then it's like some BS. You get what I'm saying? Some BS. So it was like a bunch of like BS on TV that, you know, kids didn't really want to watch. So we always stayed outside. We always stayed outside on the block, whether it was just me and my brother or the whole block. But shoot, that block would be popping sometimes. It would be like, shoot, 20 people sometimes outside. So I'm playing football on the block. I'm like down the street from my house. I'm with my friend. And it's only down the street. It's not too far from my house. But it is like, you can't really see my house from there. It's down the street. But it's on the same block. It's not like I turn the corner or nothing like that. If you walk like 5 minutes, you'd be in my house. It's not that far. So we was playing football down the street. It was me and my friend. He's like 3 years older than me, 2 years older than me, 3 years older than me. And basically, yeah, we playing football. And me as a kid, I would literally climb stuff, jump off of stuff, build stuff. Like I would do what I was like a wild child. And so when we playing football, me and him playing football, and I throw the football too far, and it lands on top of a carport. If you know what that is, I could probably put a picture of what a carport looks like. So I threw the football on top of the carport, and so I had to climb up there to get it. And so when I climbed on top of the carport, I was like 8 years old. My pants sagging, I probably got a little snot, my shoes untied, you know, it's just all of these little things to make it just like a bad setting. I shouldn't have been up there, bro. Like, I shouldn't have been up there. And so then my friend, he's like 2-3 years older than me, so he's probably like 10, 11 years old. He's throwing we had like 3 or 4 different footballs, and he's throwing the balls back up there, probably throwing the basketballs, you know, like Nerf balls, throwing them up there, you know, like we playing around. So I'm up there on top of the carport. This is probably like 12 feet off the ground, maybe a little bit taller, a little bit less, 12 feet, around 12 feet. So your car could sit under there, so the rain doesn't, you know, isn't always on your car. So it's protecting your car from the rain. And so basically, he keeps throwing the footballs up there and keeps throwing them. And I'm like, you know, all right, it's getting old. I'm throwing the football down. Like, all right, bro, it's getting old. And then so one certain time, he threw the football, and I stepped on my shoelace. He threw the football. I stepped on my shoelace. Bah! Hit me in the face with the football. I step on my shoelace, and while I'm trying to jump down with the, you know, the remaining, he hit me in the face. I'm stepping on my shoelace while I'm jumping down. off the carport. Now, mind you, I'm like 8 years old, and this is like 12 feet tall in the air. Of course I'm gonna hurt myself, bro. It's like not even a question, bro. When I fell off of that carport, I'm like literally, this is how I'm falling. What? Bah! You know, it's something like that to that extent. Straight on my face. That's what all I'm looking at is the ground, just because I dropped everything. I fell, I tripped on my shoelace, and I tried to jump off at the same time, and I had like a handful of, so I'm trying to jump off, fell, land on my face. My face is like cut up, bruised up, or scraped up. It's all bloody. And then my arms, all I remember was like my arms, they looked crazy. I couldn't even turn them like this. Like I got up and I was like, it was like this. And like I'm moving, I'm like, oh, I can't feel my arms. Like not that bad. Not no movie or nothing. But I'm like, my arms, like what I do? Like, and my face all bloody, and my friend is right there, he just in shock. He like, you know, he in shock. So my arms is broken, and you know I'm just like, oh, like what should I do? Like I'm thinking I'm gonna get in trouble. Like I'm like, cause I see my arm is dislocated. One of them was dislocated, one was just broken. It was like really my wrist. One was dislocated, one was broken. And so the one that was dislocated, it looked like a lightning bolt. It was literally, it literally was dislocated. Like here was my arm over here, and then here was my hand over here. You feel me? My arm was right here, but my hand was over there. It looked crazy. And my other one was broken too, and I couldn't twist them. And so when I got up and I started walking, I'm like, help me, like help me. And he's just seeing the blood and all that on my face, and he's like thinking like I guess he's just in shock. Like his eyes were super huge. He was just in shock. Like what do I do? And then he just started running home, just like running home. I'm over there I'm trying to push my cat. I'm trying to push my hand. I'm trying to push my arm back in place. While I'm trying to push my arm back in place, I'm thinking I'm gonna get in trouble. That's why I'm trying to push my arm back in place. He over there in shock. He started running. He ran straight back into his crib. He was not playing. He ran straight back into his crib. And so I'm 8 years old at the time. I'm trying to walk home, trying not to faint. You know, I'm probably feeling woozy, whatever the case is. But I'm steady trying to push my arm back in place. Like I didn't know what else to do. I thought I was gonna get in trouble. So I'm like, shit, if I push my arm, all I could think was if I push my arm back in place, everything gonna be okay. That's all I could think. And so anyways, I'm walking down the street. I barely remember. Like I said, I have 3 other siblings. And one of my other siblings, they were inside playing with other kids on the block. Now, I get to the house and I can't open the door. Like both of my arms was broken. I'm trying to open the door. Both of my arms was broken. I can't open the door. And so my one thing is my wrists that are broken. So my one thing is, let me try to like bang on it. Like let me try to bang on the door, you know, like something, try to do something. I didn't even think about kicking, you know. I was so young. I'm just thinking like I'm gonna bang on it with my arms. Like I'm gonna get up in this mud, right? And so whenever somebody comes to the door, it's the kids from across the street. And so they just looking at me like how my friend was looking at me. They looking at me crazy like, you know what I'm saying? They open the door. They both open the door and they looking at me. Or one of them open the door and the other one come, and then they both looking at me and they just in shock. And then once they see like once they figure out like that I'm injured and like that it's not a trick and stuff like that they eyes are not playing a trick on them, they run right past me and just go straight home. They didn't say a word. Nobody says a word to me since I broke my arms and since I got to my house. So I'm in my house and I don't see my brother, I don't see my sisters, I don't see no family members or anything like that. I'm like, these little kids were just playing in my... Anyways, let's keep going. And so my arms is broken and all I could hear is like a shower running, the bathroom shower running, and it was the kids' bathroom shower running. So I'm like, shoot, I'm gonna bang on this one. I'm gonna bang on this door too. So I start banging on the door with my broken arms. And so when I bang on that door, I hear somebody almost slip and fall. Like I could hear them in the bathroom, in the bathtub, in the shower running. I hear them almost slip and fall. And so then they scrambling for me, and they get out with a towel and soaking wet. Like what's going on? Like what's going on? What's happening? What's happening? Ooh, I broke my arms. And so then it was my mom in the bathroom. In the kids' bathroom, and you know. So then after that, she started taking me to the hospital. Called my dad wherever my dad was. He might have been asleep, wherever the case is. I'm still thinking I'm getting in trouble. I'm still scared. And so then she calls my pops, whatever. We all get in the car. They taking me to the hospital. And by that time, I'm like fainting. Like I'm going in and out. Like I could barely even remember. Tell that my father was upset. He was like, "What did you do? Like what are you doing? Like, how did you do?" He was mad. And you know, black dads, you don't even want to tell them that you broke your arms. Like I went to my mom or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather go to my mom. But it just so happened she was in the bathroom. I didn't even know who was going to be in the bathroom. I was looking for the closest family member. So if I die, you know what I'm saying, they'd be right there to help me. That's what I'm thinking as a little kid. But yeah, we get to the hospital. They call my grandparents. My grandparents come. And my grandma's mad. My dad, mama mad. They mad at me. They are thinking what did you do? And yeah, it just happened so fast. Like I was just playing football one day, and it was just like a regular day. You know, like whenever you're little, or even just any average day, it just passes by kind of normal, and you kind of start thinking about the next day and the next day and the next day, and it just goes on and so forth. And just that random day, I climbed up on something, because I always climb trees, I always climb carports. I did it before. And so I climbed onto the carport like it was an average day, and I fell straight onto my face, bro. I fell straight onto my face. And after that year, we moved to California, and I had casts on both of my arms. I had casts on one arm for at least 6 months, and a cast on another arm for at least like 10 months, maybe even longer, probably longer than that. It was dislocated, and so this is the craziest part about the whole story. You think that story is kind of crazy, that I broke both of my arms and I had to wear casts for a year? It gets even crazier. So anyways, I was in the cast, and I moved to California when I was about like 9 years old. When I got to California, you know, when people move to the ocean side, they want to go visit the beach, and they want to go to, the beaches and all of that, and they want to chill at the beaches. So I was in the cast, and what they thought I should do was like put bags around the cast. If you ever wore a cast, you would know that I don't think you're supposed to wet every cast. They probably came out with some waterproof casts now, but you're not supposed to wet your cast, and then you weren't supposed to get any sand in it. And so basically, I went to the beach, and we put bags around the cast. But it didn't work. You get what I'm saying? It clearly didn't work. I mean, when they did my cast wrong, I went to the doctor because I got sand from playing too much at the beach. And they was like, "Oh, well, you got to redo your cast because you got it dirty." And I'm thinking like, dang, I got to redo my cast and whatever the case is. But it was really a blessing in disguise, because when we got there, the doctors, they were telling me, they were like, "Hey, your cast, they were set wrong." It probably would have worked if I wasn't such an aggressive kid, if I wasn't always trying to play sports and go into the water and do certain things. But even with the cast, I was still in football. I was still playing football and still doing certain things. I was in Pee Wee football with casts on. Like, nothing stopped me. And so when I was little, I was playing in that sand, and I was playing football at the beach, and I was in the water. And you know, you're supposed to keep your cast above the water, and you're supposed to avoid the sand, not really diving in it and stuff like that. But I didn't care. I was so young. I had a bag on. I thought it protected me. I had a bag on both arms. I thought it protected me. And in reality, so I got my cast dirty, and I had to get new cast. They had to cut my cast off and give me new cast. Whenever I went to go get my cast cut off, it was like a blessing in disguise of me going to the beach and me moving to California and me doing that, because the first time that I got my cast, the dude didn't set my cast right. The first time I got my cast, the dude didn't set my cast right. So it was like a blessing in disguise, me going to the beach that day and me getting my arms dirty, me being a little kid, just being a little kid. It was like a blessing in disguise, you know? So they had to reset my cast, and that's why I stayed in the cast for even so long. But I probably didn't have to stay for that certain amount of time. But thank goodness that you came in the time frame you did, because if you would have stayed in those casts for any longer, your arms would have stayed the same size forever. And it was just a blessing in disguise, because if I didn't go to the beach that day, if I didn't play like a kid and be a kid, you get what I'm saying? If my parents were just a little bit more strict, my arms growth would have been stunted. And that's crazy, bro. It's a crazy story. And yeah, this is just one story of my life. I have a lot of different stories that I want to bring out to the world. I want to show you guys. I want to connect to you guys. And I appreciate you guys for sticking around. I'm growing this little channel. I'm growing this content. If you want to stick around till we make it, then yeah, by all means. Hope y'all have a good one. I appreciate y'all for sticking around. And shoot, we gonna make it. We gonna go to the top. We gonna go to the top. We gonna do this, man. Deuces.